Hi, and thanks for tuning in to this short overview of the latest changes in BreezeGL. All of these changes are designed to make generating custom financial statements easier than ever. Setup. BreezeGL is easier than ever to set up. When you add a company, BreezeGL can now find your Spire servers. You simply select your server, enter your username and password, and every company you've been allowed access to is shown. Select my company, get my fiscal periods, and it's done. Templates. Templates have been improved by automating some of the steps users used to do manually. Templates can now have calculated columns. Previously, templates only contained the columns of data pulled from Spire. If you wanted calculations, you had to add them manually after generating the report. Now, formulas can be included in a template. You can use any Excel formula and use the column number of the values instead of a normal cell reference. When you select a cell, it highlights the columns that are referenced in that cell, similarly to Excel. You can also now specify custom number formats using the Excel formatter. So you can suppress the $sign, change how negatives show, remove the decimals, and it's very handy for percentages. Formulas. BreezeGL formulas can now pull data based on Giphy codes. Here's a column of Giphy codes, and this formula references B19 in the new parameter in the getValue function. This is useful when reporting to CRA. It's now much easier to create rolling monthly reports with the addition of the period adjust and the year adjust feature. There's an example here in the example sheet, as there is of every feature of the software. If, for example, you want the last 6 months, but the current month is period 2, what you really want is the periods from this year for 2 and 1, and then the remaining 4 periods start at the end of last year, moving backwards. This means that when you run it for period 3, those column headings which drive the formulas on the report all shift. Report layout has been made more consistent and it makes edits easier. This includes a column to show what type of row each is. This can be useful when editing if you want to change the format of totals. This shows just the totals. Now you can select those and change those formats all at once. It's also very handy for producing a summary report and toggling between summary and detail. It's very common for users to suppress columns that they don't need to see. I'm going to race through this quickly. So there's my cleaned up report. But when you're editing that report, you often need to see those other columns back again because formulas are based on them. There's now a toggle where I can immediately with Control-Shift-H bring back those hidden rows and columns. Once I've done my edits or checked what I needed to check, Control-Shift-H puts them back. And those are remembered between sessions. I'm going to show them again. The zero filter feature has been improved. It's now easier to just select this drop down and choose on, and all the rows that are all zeros are suppressed. And I can turn that off. There's another shortcut, Control-Shift-V. This shows the normally hidden elements of the advanced filter. An advanced filter is required when you want to say this column is 0 and this column is 0 and this column is 0, then suppress. And people would have trouble finding that criteria. And you can always find it if it's visible from this named range. If you add columns to your report, you want to increase that range if you want it included in the filter. Thanks for watching this video on the latest features of BreezeGL. The Spire Assist's website has quite a few tools, tips, and tricks for Spire users. One example is a free Android app that will scan barcodes and show you the details of that inventory item on your phone or tablet. There's also a monthly newsletter you can subscribe to and stay up to date. There's a link to that in the description. Please visit spireassists.com.